Any playful splashes, unknown alien? On behalf of the Federation of Allied Species, I welcome you. You should like us. The Federation of Allied Species is an organization dedicated to the principles of peaceful cooperation and cooperative peace. We're also interested in exploration, scientific advancement, and the consumption of fish. Fish are delicious, and we hate them. It is these twin principles that have guided our civic life for generations. Oh no, we are. The Scrive don't really know about the Federation. They'd step on us if they found out. Which is kind of why the Mukei are the only member at the moment. The Federation is more than a union of alien races. It's an idea, a vision of something better, a shared... No. A No. We needed a hobby, okay? Oh, how nice it is to see another curious alien. Officially, the Mukei are loyal aquatic farmers serving the Scrive Empire. Unofficially, we are the founding member of the Federation of Allied Species. It's a bit of a juggling act. Well, we like to explore, but we're not allowed to explore anywhere. And we like to learn. Except we're not allowed to learn anything. The Scrive have placed us on a pretty short leash. They want us to be aquatic farmers, nothing more. So in practice, we're an interplanetary federation of kelp farmers more than anything. The Scrive cannot stand water worlds. Even on their own planet, they abhor the sea. The Scrive do not float. It is the reason I suspect there are so few ocean worlds in this part of space. The Scrive have done something to them. But on occasion, they develop faddish interests in culinary items from beneath the waves. They thought the Mukei could serve them in this role. We agreed to the arrangement, sensing the danger if we did not. Do we find it limiting being the only intelligent species in a galaxy full of cruel villains? Yes. But we always find ways to stay amused. Some time ago, we asked the Scrive if we could use some of their biotechnology to assist with our farming work. Super kelp was what we proposed. They refused. And then they agreed. Then they refused again. Then one more agreement. The Scrive can be a little disorganized at times. You have not known them as long as we have. Anyways, with their technology finally, perhaps accidentally delivered to us, we began to study it, and discovered they had given us far too much. Every single thing they knew about cloning and genetic manipulation had been dumped in our beaks. We now had the power to clone beings, to modify them, put flippers on them, and make them dance. It's mostly horrific, but still a little amazing, yes. We have found that artificial beings, controlled remotely, are ideal for exploring the deepest parts of the sea. On the ice worlds we often colonize, they can travel to places too dangerous for a Mukei to travel alone. They're not sentient, so it's totally ethical as well. If you don't look too closely, anyways. Certainly. In numbers, it's a little small, but in terms of space, it is also not great. The Scrive do not permit us to travel far. We have personally seen but a few worlds in the vicinity of Mukayan. We're limited, of course, by the lack of worlds with liquid water on them. It takes some effort for us to move about on land. Also, land creatures all look the same to us. It's a well-known phenomenon. When encountering an alien, our eyes and feelers are naturally drawn to the ways they appear different to us. We do not notice how they differ from each other. It's why all aliens seem to sound and look the same. The Scrive are the founding species of the Scrive Empire, and our masters. Along with their ward species, the Scrive control every star in this part of the galaxy. By some measures, they are incredibly civilized. Powerful and intelligent, they have technology we cannot begin to understand. By other, better measures, they are profoundly evil. They regularly murder aliens that float in their way. They also regularly murder aliens that float out of their way. Many Mukay were placed on racks to dry before we learned this lesson, and that only penetrates the upper waters of their cruelty. The Scrive are deeply opposed to exploration and curiosity. They spend great energy to clamp tentacles around the eyes of their ward species, even to the point of genetically engineering them. The Scrive routinely breed or engineer their ward species to better suit their duties in the Empire. They won't say this clearly, of course, but that's what we've gathered listening to them. The Scribe sure do like to talk about themselves. Our people have a saying, to blow ink up one's own waste valve. But your waste valves... That is disgusting. Primarily by breeding docility into the species that needed to be made more docile. But there's evidence they've done much more. Take the measured, for example. One of the oldest ward species of the Scrive, they must have originally been a self-organizing reef of some sort. But the Scrive have since twisted them, engineering them into simple-minded bookkeepers and accountants. Their homeworld is in the Delta Domo system, if you want to lay eye stalks on them for yourselves. Be careful, though. It lies right near the heart of Scrive space. They planned to. When they encountered us, they talked about breeding programs for us. Plans which they never seemed to get around to. We think they find our breeding squicky.
Squeak.
Officially, every major sentient alien in this part of the galaxy is a ward of the Scrive Empire. Though some are better wards than others. The Measured, for example, serve as record keepers for the Scrive. They're almost Scrive themselves. We thankfully don't have much contact with them. The ones we've seen most recently are the Taiwan, the Drenkend, and the Maolings. The Taiwan are, regrettably, our neighbors. They have petitioned to join the Mukay Federation 187 times. Their complete inability to take a hint suggests a 188th petition will be coming shortly. Aside from it resulting in the Scrive annihilating us, you mean? The Taiwan are nice, we suppose. Just so moist. The Dreckend are simple-minded shock troops used by the Scrive for simple-minded things. Their homeworld, Drenkapon, is in the Alpha Uxor system, if you ever need to have any of your ships exploded. They live in the Shivios cluster, we think, some distance away. We only met them by accident, when one of their ships got lost. They seemed to be friendly beings, peaceful and fervently religious. They're also... we do not wish to insult, for every creature is precious in its own way. But the Mowling seemed precious in a very simple way. Certainly. This is a recent development. We have no idea which aliens are involved. We simply do not know. Someone with a huge, dangling hectocotylus, that's for sure. Certainly.
Sweet.
Is there anything else? Accepting a new member is a tricky process. Actually, it's an unheard of process. If they found out, the Scrive would stab us, then shoot us, then try us out. Then they'd repeat. So, no, let's go with no. Yes, they probably will. No, that's something we're quietly regretful about. You're not the first to point out the problems inherent in our Federation in its current form. The fact that it has only one member. The fact that we quietly stand by while curious young aliens such as yourselves get obliterated. And the fact that there are far too many fish out there that remain uneaten. These are questions that have been bubbling through our society for some time. But you are asking for a big thing. Admitting you into the Federation would risk a war with the Scrive. The Abyssal Council of the Mukei cannot put our entire people at risk so lightly. There is something, though, a protocol we've blotted out for such momentous situations. We would require you to do something for us first. Demonstrate your commitment to the principle of peaceful cooperation. Perhaps then the Abyssal Council would consider your petition for Federation membership. Our colony at Lakai 8760 has recently come under attack by the Drenkend. The Drenkend are large and cruel beasts the Scrive use as shock troops. Many Mukei have already perished thanks to their bizarre and distressing attacks. They kill us while shouting nonsense about ears. It makes no sense. But any fool whose adolescent tentacles have dropped can see that this is probably a ruse. The Scrive have begun to take notice of our Federation. So long as you promise only to talk to them. If you cannot employ either the principle of cooperative peace or peaceful cooperation, you'll only make matters worse. Please, please be careful. Swim safely, humans.